All right, then, welcome back. It's always nice to see you back here in the Git series. In the last session, we saw how the conflicts are occurred, how they are resolved when somebody is working on the same file and you also have made the changes onto the same file in the same file. And when you try to push it, there is a conflict, and we know how to resolve them. As mentioned in the last session, in this session today we are going to discuss about the different playgrounds that the Git has. As you can see on the screen, there are four playgrounds in the Git. I would say there are only three. One I have kept it as hidden, which I'll tell you later why it is kept as hidden. But there are mainly three playgrounds or three areas where we work in the Git. So the first area is working directory. Working directory is nothing but your project structure. Whatever files you add, you edit, you delete, that is nothing but your working area. The next area is, or the next playground is staging area. When out of the files that you have edited or deleted, you pick those files, you pick few files from them and you decide that those files will be the part of the next commit. So those files become the part of this staging area. Don't worry, we will see this in action in the CMD and in the Visual Studio Code as well. Once you have staged these files, you enter a message mentioning what change you have done. That is nothing but git commit. Once you git commit those files become the part of our local repository. Please remember, they are still on local and they have not gone to the remote repository. When you commit something, that becomes the part of the local repository, this area. And finally, when you hit git push and you try to push or you try to merge those files onto the remote server, then that becomes the remote area. So in this way, I would still say there are three playgrounds: working, staging, and remote. Now let's see those areas in action. Let me go back to the Visual Studio Code. All right. So we have these files with us. I will make some change in 2.txt. And with the modification of 2.txt, I'll also add one more file. Here we did two modifications. First is we changed 2.txt and we created a new file that is 3.txt. Now if you go at source control menu on the left hand side, in the changes section you will see that there are two files mentioned. Now this is nothing but your local area or your working area. Up until now, Git doesn't know what exactly changes we have done. Once we do these changes, after hitting git add, these two files become the part of staging areas, right? So before entering this git add command, those two files were the part of working area. After when I said please add these two files, then these two files become the part of staging area. We talked about working area by git status, it shows the modified or edited file. Those files are pushed onto the staging area with the help of git add and the file name, the git add command. In this staging area, now we need to commit that. Let me go back to the command line. Once I commit those files, now those files have become the part of local repository. Please mind that those are still on the local repository and we have not pushed them onto the remote. There is one more thing that I wanted to show you. In the project repository, there is one .git folder that is, if you take a look closely, that is hidden. If you open that, you will see there are some files and folder in that .git folder, right? Out of which I'll show you this file, commit underscore edit message. Now this is, we can say that this is a log where all our commits are stored, which are ready to be shipped onto the remote repository. There is one homework for you guys. I told you that where the commits are residing in the commit edit message. I showed you that this is the commit that we added. Now you tell me where the files have been added or where the files have been mentioned that these files will be the part of the next commit. So that is your homework. Please find out and mention your answers in the comment section below. Yeah. So up until now, we are still on to the local repository. And now you know why I have kept it as hidden. That is because that Git folder is also sort of hidden. Once we have moved our changes to local repository, now the next thing is pushing those onto the remote. So let's do it. We have pushed our changes onto the remote server now. Let's go and see if remote server has received our 3.txt. Here we all can see that 3.txt is the part of this repository now, and also in the 2.txt the changes are present that we did on the local repository, right? So this was it, guys. This was all about Git playgrounds or Git areas where the file resides, right from its modification to its shipment to the remote server. Thanks for watching, and we will meet in the next session.